Texas trucker Jerry Barker and his new flame Rebecca get hitched.
You ready for an adventure, Becca?
I'm just about ready for anything.
All right.
And hit the open road.
She began riding in the truck with him.
And then before you know it, she was moving in with him.
But when their new business goes south, so does their marriage.
You care more about this store than you do about me.
They would pick up a 30-pack of beer.
Cheers.
And they drank a 30-pack every day.
He hit her, he beat her. It had been going on for years.
She had set the whole situation up to make Jerry look crazy.
You know what? I want you gone.
Love may be blind and marriage bliss, but divorce is murder. The small town of Dialville, Texas, is just a tiny dot on the map to most people. But for 64-year-old Jerry Barker, Dialville is home. Home to him and his wife, Frances May.
I'm back.
And when he came home, she was there for him. Like, she was what he came home to, his cornbread and his buttermilk and things like that.
When I was growing up, I said, I hope I have a marriage like that. I hope I can find a wife like that. I hope my marriage is like that. Mama was his life.
But sadly, that life changes when Frances May suffers a sudden heart attack.
She had a stent put into her for her heart because of her heart attack. And they put it into your inner thigh and put it up to your heart that way. So she wasn't allowed to get up, walk around or anything.
My sister-in-law was there, and supposedly she left. When she came back, Mom was laying on the floor and bled out on the floor.
She got up to go to the restroom and had completely bled out from her incision on her leg.
They couldn't keep her going. You know, she lost too much blood, and she's passed away in the hospital.
The Barkers are devastated, especially Jerry.
They were together a lifetime. For marriage, I would call that a lifetime. You know, as long as I can remember, it was Mom and Dad.
Jerry grows distant from his 3 grown boys.
I was trying to keep up with Dad and see if he's okay. But he just pretty much kind of just went quiet, you know, pretty much.
Sorry, y'all. Can't come to the phone. Leave a message after the tone.
His world emotionally was gone. You know, he was alone. Everything, his whole world, his life that he had was gone. And all he had was his dog and his truck.
Here you go, Coda.
Only months after his wife's death, Jerry meets 40-year-old waitress Rebecca Osborne.
Hey there, old timer. Let me guess. Chicken fried steak, side of cornbread.
You got my number, Becca.
They met at a restaurant in Rusk, Texas, and she was a waitress at that restaurant. And he came in and they met there.
Rebecca's fun and flirtatious, just the person Jerry needs to bring him out of his funk.
She was fun, outgoing, just a good person.
She's also a divorcee with a son and daughter she doesn't often see. But Rebecca won't be alone for long.
Becca, I got me an idea.
What's that, hon?
Well, my home sure could use a woman's touch every now and then. If you could find the time, I'd be forever grateful.
He asked her to come and start cleaning his house. That was just a lie because the house was immaculate, very clean, and he just wanted that as an excuse to meet her and talk to her.
Come on, what do you got to lose?
He was thinking, well, I'll let her come in, she can take care of my house, and I won't be lonely, you know, so it'll work for both of us.
Well, there, Jer. You got yourself a deal.
All right. I'll drink to that.
And before you know it, she was moving in with him.
Within weeks, their arrangement blossoms into a full-blown romance.
You just can see people and tell that they love each other. It's kind of the way they look at each other, eye to eye.
The news comes as a surprise to Jerry's family.
I would go over to my grandpa's house and clean for him. And then suddenly at one point he had said, I don't need you to clean anymore.
Hey, sweetie. Gosh, you just won't believe this, but, well, I met somebody, and she can keep the house clean.
You met somebody? Who? When?
A while ago. You'll get to meet her soon. Well, thanks for coming out. And you take care now. Bye.
Word of a new woman spreads fast among the Barkers, who have yet to even meet Rebecca.
I was curious to myself, what does this lady look like? How old is this lady? Where did she come from? I kind of think it was too soon and just a little disrespectful to Mom as far as, could you wait just a little bit longer, Dad, before you do this?
The fact that Rebecca isn't much older than Jerry's own kids adds even more fuel to the gossip fire.
She was in her late 30s, early 40s, and Dad was in his middle 60s, somewhere around there. So it's 20-something years.
Only months after their first meeting, Jerry and Rebecca say their I-dos at the courthouse in Rusk, Texas, without sending out even a single invitation.
Dad's from the era where you didn't live with a woman. You married her. I think it was spur of the moment thing. I just think it was just, let's go get married.
I didn't hear about it until after it was already done.
I just told him, I said, are you happy, Dad? And he said, son, he says, I'm lucky to find two women that loved me in my lifetime. And I suppose, Dad, as long as you're happy. I said, that's all that's important.
But others are not as supportive of the impromptu marriage.
Usually the tradition is to introduce someone. This is going to be my future wife. What do you think? And I never got that opportunity.
I felt completely shut out from my own grandpa because suddenly you're not even invited to the wedding that you hear about afterwards.
I was told, your dad got married by my uncle, I think. I go, to who? Who did he get married to? I wasn't very happy with my father about it. I was totally not happy with it.
Psychotherapist Stacy Kaiser and forensic psychologist Brian Russell say these are common issues among children whose parents remarry.
These kids are put in a really bad situation. They've lost their mother, and now, in some ways, they've lost their father.
The kids see it as almost an affront to their mom. They see it almost as a statement by their dad that he didn't really love their mom very much. It's really that they don't understand it very well a lot of times, I think. They don't understand that really what's going on is their dad's having a hard time living without their mom.
Wouldn't matter if Rebecca was good or bad or older or younger or the same age. They're not going to like her, and they're not going to like how things have played out.
Family issues aside, once this couple gets hitched, they hit the ground trucking.
You ready for an adventure, Becca?
I'm just about ready for anything.
All right.
He liked to travel in his 18-wheeler, and she was young enough to do stuff.
She began riding in the truck with him wherever he would go. She particularly liked it when they went to Arizona and New Mexico because she loved to be able to stop and pick up things along the highway so that she could use them around her house.
Dialville's newest married couple is also one of its happiest.
That's where they seem to be the most happy, is taking care of each other.
Except that their love doesn't seem to extend to Jerry's family.
Hey, I thought
thought you guys might want me to come down on Saturday.
Oh, shoot. Wendy, Saturday's no good.
I could bring lunch. It wouldn't be long.
Listen, why don't you try us some other weekend, huh?
Okay. Next weekend.
Every time I had called and said, hey, maybe we should come visit, and my grandpa or she would say, no, we're too busy, or we're going out of town. And I didn't understand why I wouldn't be able to go around my grandpa, because when I was growing up, that's what I did. And now I wasn't even really invited to go for a day.
Jerry's son, Mike, decides he's not waiting for an invitation.
How you doing, son? Been like forever.
I'm good, Pa, I'm good. When I went there, I saw Rebecca for the first time. Oh, these are for you, ma'am.
Mike, these are beautiful. I'm so happy to meet you, Mike.
I've never met her before then, and everything. And she was pretty nice, bragging about, things are good, and Jerry's this and Jerry's that.
Gotta tell you, I sure do love this old man of yours. Well, come on in. Come on in.
She was nice, but I didn't feel comfortable. I felt like that she was acting it out, and I was looking at her like, why would he marry her? What does he see in this?
She always wore like old wore-out sweatpants that had holes in them, and just t-shirt.
Jerry's house takes on a similar relaxed look now that Rebecca's moved in.
That was filthy.
She never dusted or cleaned anything. She just left it. So she just lived as if she's renting the place and just left it, and that was it. So there's nothing that showed her personality there besides it being dirty. It was very strange to me that she would look like she was just visiting in a way, where she didn't make it her home.
The whole time I was there, I was constantly thinking, why is this lady here? Where did she come from?
You guys doing some gardening today?
No. Why?
It's your clothes. They're a little... I just figured.
These are my clothes. Is there something wrong?
Care to share, son?
No, sir, it's nothing.
Rebecca's entering the picture, I think, created a huge rift in the family.
They just didn't like, I guess, the age gap between them.
And with that rift growing wider and wider, the Barkers head down a road that ends with a crash no one sees coming.
That woman could drink, believe me.
He was robbed and attacked.
Truck driver Jerry Barker marries his much younger flame, Rebecca, only months after his first wife's death. His family does not approve. Even so, Jerry and Rebecca are happy until 6 years later, when Jerry's life changes course drastically.
He was walking back to his truck and he got jumped as he was climbing up the truck.
He was robbed and attacked, and they beat him really bad, and he had a real bad neck injury from the beating.
Jerry is 71 years old, and the assault takes its toll.
The injuries were pretty severe. I mean, it messed up his back, his shoulder. He had several back surgeries, shoulder surgery. He couldn't lift his arm up past that.
His injuries are so bad, he's forced to give up trucking for good.
It takes a lot to handle these big rigs, and it takes physical strength to do a lot of the turning and shifting and, leg muscles and stuff. So it hindered his driving abilities.
It was pretty traumatic. He was pretty messed up over that. Trucking was his life. He loved to drive trucks.
Jerry is devastated, but Rebecca is his rock, and together they take it as a sign that it's time for a change.
He says, if I stop working, I'll die, is what Dad would always say. He says, I've got to work. He says, I've got to do something.
I said, Dad, what are you going to do when you quit driving a truck? He said, I'm going to open me a little store in Dialville. And I said, well, that'd probably be a pretty good idea. Open your store, kind of bring a little income in. It's a good idea.
Jerry's General Store is a great thing for Dialville's 100 or so residents.
He wanted it to be everything for all people in the Dialville community, so if they walked in off the street and they needed anything from a pack of chewing gum to plumbing equipment, they could find it there at the store.
Plus, it was a restaurant, and she would cook breakfast, lunch, sometimes dinner, and really good food.
Rebecca made you feel at home when you come in. Out in the boonies like that, I mean, if you're coming through, that's a pretty good place to stop and eat. It was convenient. You didn't have to drive 10 miles to go get a loaf of bread.
The locals come in, everybody knows everybody's name, you know what's going on with the neighbor down the street and that kind of stuff.
Jerry and Rebecca are overjoyed.
The store was a nice step for them in their relationship. It got them closer together.
He had the store put together and I made a surprise visit. We hadn't seen each other for a while. And he just looked at me and he just, you know, we just both hugged and started crying.
I think it's a great idea that Jerry decided to open this general store with Rebecca. It gives them time together. It's something that he can do that's slow-paced and that he's capable of, and it's a way to keep him from being isolated. He can be social with his community.
Starting a business of one's own is a really big undertaking, and one has to be ready for all kinds of new things, ups and downs, accounting, legal issues, things like that that you don't have as a truck driver. You don't want to start a business out of necessity. You want to start it because you really understand what it takes to run it and make it successful. If you're going to do it with your spouse, you got to both be on the same page about that.
After 3 years serving the community, the Barkers are on the same page about hiring a trustworthy employee to help out. Enter 45-year-old Dialville native, Tammy Reel.
They were having problems with people that they were hiring before, stealing from them. So I was like, I'm not that kind of person, you know, I would never do that. Just give me a chance, you know, and so they kept me.
But unfortunately for them, the Barkers' generosity is working against the store's success.
You had your locals that come in all the time and you took care of them. They work up receipts where they would pay later. If they didn't have the money, Dad would say, don't worry about it. Pay me when you can, kind of things.
You want to add the balance of that package of diapers to Brady's tab, hon?
His tab's pretty high already.
The man lost his job and his kid needs diapers. He'll pay us when he can.
Yes, sir.
Jerry's not the only one running the store like it's a charity.
There was a woman one time that had come into the store. She had 3 kids, I think. And she'd asked Rebecca about getting some food. She didn't have any money. And Rebecca ended up getting enough of food for that woman to last her 4 or 5 days. You know, milk, bread, lunch meat, stuff like that.
You just pay when you can.
She had a big old heart. She really did.
You didn't see anything.
They're both generous to a fault and hide it from each other.
Don't tell Jerry because he'd get mad at me. So I was kind of like, if y'all only knew y'all both doing the same thing, but didn't want the other one to know.
But there's one thing he can't hide so well. At 76, Jerry's starting to show signs he's ready to retire.
A lot of people coming in at one time into the store. Sometimes, you know, he couldn't handle that. Too much going on at one time. He starts shaking real bad. And then he'd get to where he's gonna feel like he's gonna pass out, and then his heart rate would jump up like real high.
It's not just old age. There's another factor affecting Jerry's health: alcohol.
They had a greenhouse on the property. It was full of beer cans.
Beer cans all in the cupboard, all on the kitchen counter, you know, all over outside on the ground.
The Barker kids have seen it all before.
My father used to drink years ago, and he quit, totally quit.
Probably because Mama told him. Probably so. Mama kind of controlled him pretty much. He did what she said. It'd have to be at least 20 years that he didn't drink at all before he met Rebecca, I would say.
She was a drinker when she came to him. And so, oh, you know, Jerry, have a beer. You know, have another one.
While Jerry drank, it was Rebecca who had the biggest drinking problem in the house.
That woman could drink. Believe me.
They would pick up a 30-pack of beer, and they drank a 30-pack every day.
Sure goes down nice after a long day, don't it, Jer Bear?
The more Jerry drinks, the worse his health becomes.
Dad had told me he had diabetes, but he said it's controlled. There's no big deal.
He developed it while he was with her. He did not have diabetes before he was healthy.
He would not take his medication like he was supposed to take it, and that, of course, caused a worsening of his symptoms.
The medication wasn't working because of the drinking.
And those health problems played in his inability to help run the store on a long-term basis.
Jerry has a history of alcohol problems. He's got diabetes. This guy is one big giant red flag. And so one would ask themselves, why wouldn't Rebecca try to encourage him to stay sober and to keep him from drinking?
It really isn't fair to put Rebecca in some kind of mom role and expect her to be saying to him, no, you can't have this if you want it. You know, you have to, at some point, put the onus on Jerry as an independent adult to make those kind of decisions for himself.
Jerry's responsible for not having enough willpower, for not having enough strength to say to her, if you are drinking, I am not drinking with you.
Before long, all that booze starts to affect their marriage, too.
She called me. She sounded intoxicated, pretty heavy. And she had told me, she said, you ain't gonna believe what your daddy did.
He's gambling all my hard-earned money away.
She took $5,000 of my money. My money. And I said, okay, he went to Vegas with my money. I got a hold of him a couple of days later, and I said, so how was Vegas?
Vegas?
He goes, what are you talking about? I said, well, Becca said you went to Vegas. He goes, I didn't go to Vegas.
Yeah. You know how women are.
I goes, no, Dad, I don't.
Yeah, I had heard he was drinking, but I didn't know it was that bad.
And it's only going to get worse.
I knew I didn't want to make him mad.
She was so worried that she called law enforcement to come help her.
Jerry and Rebecca Barker's general store is a hit with Dialville, Texas's 100 or so residents. But as Jerry and Rebecca's drinking gets out of hand, the distance between Jerry and his family grows.
Hello. Uh-huh. Well, Wendy, your grandpa is feeding the animals right now.
At first, when I would call him on the phone, I would talk to him. But then after a few years, I would get her when I called. She would a lot of times tell me that he was unavailable, or he was mowing grass down the hill and it was too far for him to come to the phone. I would say, okay, I'll call back in about 10 minutes. And 10 minutes later, she said he didn't want to talk to me.
I would call and get nothing, not even an answer machine, just keep ringing.
Who the hell keeps calling like that?
It's just some salesman. Let it ring.
It was kind of like we were not able to get into his life anymore at all.
Check this out.
Bingo.
Woo! But Jerry isn't lacking for friends. When he's not feeling well, he turns to the other woman in his life, his employee, Tammy.
I was the only one that was able to get him to calm down when he would have an anxiety attack. I'd rub his back, you know, and tell him everything's gonna be okay and just talk him out of it. And he'd be okay, like within maybe 5 minutes. He was taking a few different types of medications, and some of them was working, some of them wasn't. So that was another thing that we were trying to do, is get a better doctor for him. We switched doctors too.
Jerry's health isn't the only thing that's failing. So is the store.
It was getting worse as the economy was getting bad. The gas went up, people stopped coming into the store, and it started taking a toll on Jerry.
It takes a toll on both of them.
Jerry, I already told you we don't need to be ordering new batteries for the store.
If someone comes into the door asking for batteries, what are we gonna say?
You had 4 people in the store yesterday. One of them only come in asking for directions.
They maybe get 3 or 4 customers a day. So There was tension starting to build because there was no business.
You want me to fail?
Oh, please.
And he would buy stuff all the time and stock the store, you know, and it was overstocked. And she wanted him to stop buying a lot of stuff. He wanted her to work Monday through Saturday from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. She's burned out, got tired, you know, wanted some time off.
You care more about this store than you do about me.
Well, at least I care about something more than getting wasted the way you do.
You are a slave driver. Do you know that? A slave driver.
That's it. Run off. Run back to Mama.
But for Jerry, it's his way or the highway, no matter what the cost.
His mental health had deteriorated. His physical health had deteriorated.
Hello? Jerry?
Becca?
It's over, hon.
What Rebecca said happened is that he had just started acting crazy and was threatening to kill himself.
Jerry? Please. Okay, breathe. Take a breath. Okay, listen to me. We can open another store. This is not the end of the world. You're acting like there's no way to come back from this. Take a breath. Calm yourself.
No!
And she was so worried about him that she called law enforcement to come help her.
You're gonna blow his brains out? And I go, what? I said, okay, I'm on my way.
All of a sudden, here come the police, and he was disoriented and confused because he had no idea why they were there or why everybody was all upset.
He was threatening to kill himself with a gun.
And I said, well, Dad, they said you were trying to kill yourself. He goes, he says, no, I would not do that. He told me it was his medicine, that the doctors messed his medicine up, is what he told me.
We don't know if Jerry was trying to downplay what happened or if what he was telling them was the actual truth.
Real or not, Jerry's suicide attempt lands him in a drug and alcohol rehab center, where he's placed under observation.
He had to stay there for a week, and they evaluated him, said that he was okay, and they let him go. Rebecca and I went and picked him up, and everything seemed okay after that.
With Jerry's health in decline, his family in exile, and Rebecca busy managing the store, the couple gives Tammy, who has been working at the store for less than a year, power of attorney over both of them.
It was Jerry's idea to make me power of attorney.
It is something that Tammy prepared, most likely with the assistance of the internet, finding some document online.
We started getting pretty close there. You know, as time went on, I was really close to him.
She describes herself as the daughter Jerry never had.
I was taking him to the doctor, doing bank transactions, and you can't just do that. You have to have a legal authority to do that.
She was a trustworthy person, and Tammy did a lot for them.
With that taken care of, Jerry's determined to make the store work at all costs.
His main thing was come back and get the store up and running because he was losing business.
You're wasting a lot of letters doing it that way.
Stop telling me how to run the restaurant. I have been running it for 4 years.
Yeah, running it into the ground.
Jerry's wanting Rebecca to run the restaurant his way, and she wanted to do it her way. So they didn't agree on how to do things. He wanted her to change up the menu. She didn't want to.
She didn't want nobody in the kitchen with her.
That's very hard to be with somebody 24/7, and you know, everybody needs some space and some time apart.
It was a huge stress in their marriage. It caused a lot of problems because they spent so much time there together.
There was things that was going on that I wasn't aware of until an actual time I went in, and she had a part of her eyes was black.
All signs point to a very bad domestic dispute.
I am dumber than a box of rocks. Can you believe it?
I went up there and I was like, what happened to your eye, Rebecca? And she was like, oh, I fell down the stairs. I was like, okay.
When it comes to Jerry and Rebecca's situation, there are lots of conflicting stories. There's a lot of secrets, there's a lot of chaos, and whenever you see that, there are underlying problems.
Jerry has had to deal with some of the most stressful life events that we know of. He's lost a spouse, he's had a major injury, he has returned to substance abuse, he's got chronic illness. So when you look at all of these things together, that's a lot for anybody to take, and you really need to have good, solid family and spousal support to get through that. It looks like he doesn't have that at this point.
It looks like there's a strong possibility that Jerry's having an emotional breakdown.
Whether it's an emotional breakdown or declining health, Jerry's deteriorating condition is obvious to everyone.
Jerry's youngest son had told friends and family members he would go over there and his father would be shaking, almost like he had Parkinson's disease or something like that.
Are you all right? I'm fine, son. I'm fine.
Rebecca talked to me a whole lot about Jerry's blood pressure, and she was real concerned about it. She wanted to get it under control and get it right.
Jerry's family isn't so sure.
But people had suspicions.
Is Rebecca trying to hasten Jerry's demise?
I was told that she would not give him his medicine when he needs it.
Or possibly giving him more than he needs?
I called Adult Protective Services to tell them that he was possibly being drugged and that he was not mentally aware of what he was doing because of he's under the influence of alcohol and whatever.
Can you just check on him, please?
Adult Protective Services looks into the complaint. They pay a visit to everyone in Jerry's entourage, including Jerry himself and Tammy.
She just wanted to know what was going on, you know, if there was any abuse and if he was being over-medicated, and I just told her what we had done and everything.
Jerry is downright furious with his family for their meddling.
Wendy, Granddad, how dare you do that to me? No.
He called me right after that welfare check, and he said, you know what, you are embarrassing me. You are causing trouble in my relationship. If you bother me, your harassment charges are going to be filed and you're going to jail for that.
You are no longer family to me, you hear? So you can stop coming around the store.
He was livid. I mean, cussing, yelling at her, don't you ever come around here. I don't want nothing to do with you ever again. And he was pretty hot. I'd never seen him like that before, so I knew I didn't want to make him mad.
And that's when push comes to shove.
I'd be better off without you.
Rebecca and my father acquired many guns.
There was a gun on an end table by the chair.
Jerry and Rebecca Barker's marriage survives over a decade of misgivings from Jerry's family. But when they call Adult Protective Services, Jerry severs ties with his family forever. Adult Protective Services doesn't draw any immediate conclusions.
The rumors about her over-medicating and under-medicating Jerry, I think were just strictly rumors.
Those aren't the only rumors flying around.
He was supposed to be having an affair with Tammy.
What the underlying basis of that relationship was, I hesitate to speculate.
As far as I know, she didn't confront him, and deep down in her heart, she knew it wasn't happening because she trusted Tammy.
Jerry is certainly not in great condition physically. It's not as if he's a wealthy man, and it just doesn't really seem to me like the kind of situation where I could see a real plausible affair blossoming between Jerry and Tammy.
To me, there is one particular detail that says to me there is no way they are having an affair. And that is that Tammy really refers to him as a father figure. And when someone uses the word father in a sentence about a person, they typically are not having sex with them.
I can't do it no more. I am too tired.
Oh, that's just dang stupid.
Shut it down. Won't make much difference anyway. We ain't even got no customers.
To hell with that!
What's certain is that the store's imminent failure is weighing pretty hard on Jerry and Rebecca.
There was one time they were closed a whole week because of the economy being so bad that, they'd had to shut down.
I think that he was pulling enough common sense out to say, this was a big mistake. Look at my life, failed store, failed health, enough is enough.
He was being very ugly to her and very nasty and saying a lot of derogatory things to her.
You're nothing but bad luck for me and for the store. I'd be better off without you.
Screw you.
You know what? I'm through.
You're what?
I want you gone. Out of my life.
Over my dead body.
On February 26, 2014, a call is made to 911.
There had been a shooting at Rebecca's residence.
The victim is Jerry.
They found Jerry in his recliner with the wound to his chest. Based on the entrance and exit wounds, he was shot by someone who was standing above him and probably about 3 feet away from him. When Rebecca first called 911, she was crying. She was saying, "Oh my God, I can't believe this. I can't look at him."
There was a gun on an end table by the chair.
The gun that was used was determined to be a Ruger brand .357 Magnum.
They routinely kept the gun there just because they live in a rural part of the community. So people typically keep guns in their homes for protection.
News of Jerry's death hits his family like a 20-ton semi.
I can't even remember who called me. I just remember they said, "Your dad's been shot and he's dead." I said, I gotta go.
My dad went. She did it. And I remember seeing him say that, and I'm like, she did what? Rebecca did it. She shot him. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Jerry was being awful to me. It was an accident. I didn't mean to do it. I didn't mean...
Rebecca Barker immediately confesses to pulling the trigger. But the killing, she says, was not on purpose.
Rebecca told them that Jerry had been abusing her for years and that this particular day was one of the worst and that she just snapped.
She was very distraught. She was still in shock about what had happened.
Watch. Watch. Come on. Bam.
Trying to watch television.
She claimed to have been watching Gunsmoke with him and that she was demonstrating using the gun, pretending like she was Matt Dillon, and that she just accidentally shot him.
The police take Rebecca into custody.
She couldn't have visitors for the first 24 hours. But I did talk to her on the phone.
I don't know what I done. I don't know what happened.
She was freaking out bad. She wanted to die.
Rebecca claims to have shot Jerry by accident. And based on the reaction that she is having, it certainly could be plausible. She is emotional, she is distraught, and she's filled with guilt. And those are normal reactions for a person who has accidentally shot someone.
The person would be beside themselves trying to get it across that they didn't mean to do it. And we do see some of those kinds of things coming out of Rebecca.
The police search the Barker home and discover the murder weapon wasn't the only firearm in the house. Far from it.
Years before, my father had one gun. While they were together, Rebecca and my father apparently acquired many guns, many rifles, many different types of pistols.
It's only hours into the investigation when police hear rumors about the power of attorney signed over to Tammy.
One of the witnesses that witnessed Jerry's signature did not believe Jerry understood what was going on, that she believed that he was either over-medicated or in some other form or fashion not competent to execute that power of attorney.
He knew what he was doing.
Rebecca argues that he was fully aware of what he was signing and that the power of attorney is still valid.
Because Rebecca immediately wanted to turn over the property to Tammy.
But to others, it's all a bit too convenient.
Tammy's stepfather was a witness on the power of attorney. So it was like, it was all intertwined there together. I'm going, okay, well, none of this makes freaking sense. It's like almost like a conspiracy. They're getting together because they wanted that 21.5 acres and they had a 2-bedroom house on it.
The property, the home, the land was all owned by Jerry prior to the marriage, and she had no claim to it. So the only way she was going to be able to get anything would be for him to die.
But that bit of news is nothing compared to what investigators learn next.
They were mad because of how Jerry made up the will.
She was never charged with anything.
Rebecca Barker claims she shot and killed her husband Jerry by accident, while others speculate that it was an outright execution and that Rebecca was not working alone. The rumors turn out to be unsubstantiated.
When he passed away, his power of attorney passed with him. That paper was pretty much just nothing. You know, those words on that paper mean nothing.
Tammy doesn't stand to gain a thing.
Tammy was kind of dragged into the middle of the murder investigation by signing on that dotted line, but ultimately there was never any evidence that she was involved in any way. She was never charged with anything.
They didn't even know me, you know, to even make such accusations that were being made. But because of the will is what I believe, that they were mad because of how Jerry made up the will.
In the event of Jerry's death, his sons would only be left with $100 each.
The power of attorney was not my idea. That was Jerry and Rebecca's idea. They trusted me. They believed that I could help if something was to happen, and that's why they made the power of attorney.
Tammy's off the hook, but Rebecca most certainly is not, especially when investigators come across a shocking secret.
Rebecca was still on probation for the attempted murder of her previous husband.
She and her husband were going through a divorce, and her husband was threatening to take her child away from her, to take custody of that child in the divorce.
They were actually due in court the next day for a hearing.
Well, she took a gun and she shot him.
Incredibly, Rebecca's previous husband survives.
It's the grace of God that he lived, because his injuries were extensive and could have very well been fatal.
And he asked the court to go easy on her.
He was still in love with her. He didn't want her to go to jail.
The judge gave her 10 years probation. She had to do 6 months in the county jail. She had to attend anger management classes, drug and alcohol classes, $2,500 fine, and restitution.
And that was it. Slap on the wrist, really.
The very same day that Jerry's shot, she's charged with first-degree murder. And 8 months later, Rebecca goes to trial. The prosecution is not going to settle for a slap on the wrist this time.
This is her second go-around of shooting husbands and ex-husbands.
Screw you!
The prosecution has a pretty good idea of what set her off.
I'm through.
You're what?
I want you gone. Out of my life.
Our theory of the case was that Jerry had asked for a divorce that day, and that was based upon the fact that in the months leading up to the shooting, Jerry had begun to express regrets about marrying Rebecca and making statements that he should have never married that woman and that he really just needed to get a divorce.
They make it crystal clear that Jerry's death was no accident.
The single most damning piece of evidence was the fact that she pulled that trigger 3 times. The effort it takes, the concentration, the intention of pulling a trigger 3 times, you just don't accidentally do that.
Jerry never had a fighting chance.
When he was found with his arms down to his side. He was leaned back and had his head tilted back, his eyes closed. So based upon all of that, plus the way the wound tracks were, we believed he was asleep at the time he was shot.
It's possible that from the very start, Rebecca had thought that she would find a way to eliminate Jerry at some point.
Based on what we know about her history, if things aren't going according to plan, she will try and take matters into her own hands, and that's what she did here in hopes that she could just have everything quicker and easier.
But she didn't certainly do the killing in a smart way. She did it in a way that was never going to work as far as this accident excuse.
Faced with all of this evidence, Rebecca's defense team pleads out.
We pled guilty to the jury and let the jury assess her punishment. She was finally convicted of murder, and she received a life sentence and a $10,000 fine.
I'm not a believer of the death penalty, even though I think an eye for an eye, pretty much. But justice was served.
If I ever had a chance to talk to Rebecca, because I've thought about it, I would ask her, why did you do this? Why? Why did you murder my dad? Why did you kill him? Why did you shoot my father? There was no reason to shoot Dad. He was giving you everything.
You know, this woman's just evil. And my father's gone, she's still here. It's just not fair.
All I could do is tell my kids about him. They'll never feel his hugs or anything.
You, Mike Snyder, are a keeper.
Ellen and Mike Snyder go full throttle on love.
I think they were a great complement, a great mix.
I thought my brother had a perfect life.
It's Ellen. I've got something to tell you.
But secrets and lies are more than mere roadblocks on the path to matrimonial bliss.
Maybe Mike had found out about an affair.
She was looking through his phone because she was already suspicious.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's a big debt.
Then what are you thinking, Ellen?
This union is on a collision course with death.
We did look for the ski lover in Phoenix.
You're not gonna get away with this.
This was an exclusive community. This is not where people's bodies are buried.
Love may be blind and marriage bliss, but divorce is murder. It's autumn in 1991, and at just 32 years old, Ellen Sheffield is a rising star on the busy city strip lined with car dealerships.
Great work with that sedan.
She was good at what she did. Good with customers, good with the technicians, always willing to help. The guys knew that they could go to her, and she had their back. And being a woman in a man's world, so to speak.
Ellen makes good money and is on track to becoming an executive, but her personal life has veered a little off course. She split from her husband, David, 2 years before, and is raising their 7-year-old son, Matt, by herself.
Ellen was a very good mom from what I could see. She was very close to Matt, probably partly because it was the two of them and the two of them alone.
But not for long.
Well, from what I hear, my brother Mike met Ellen through the business.
Hey.
Hi.
You should get rid of that guy. He didn't even introduce us.
Hi, I'm Ellen, but you can call me Miss Sheffield.
Of course. I'm Mr. Snyder, but you can call me Mike.
Tell me everything about that guy.
Enter Mike Snyder, a 33-year-old master mechanic who works at another dealership on the same strip. He too is in the fast lane at work.
Mike, from a very early age, just enjoyed working, tearing apart things. He went to Denver Automotive and became a master mechanic and came back to Albuquerque and made a very lucrative income.
My brother was a very good mechanic. It didn't come easily and just fall into his lap. He worked hard, he worked long hours.
And like Ellen, Mike has recently split from his spouse.
Mike was first married to another really nice young lady. Unfortunately, she was in a very bad auto accident and had substantial injuries, and I think the struggles in their marriage seemed to overtake them, and their marriage didn't survive.
There are two slightly different versions of how Mike and Ellen actually start dating.
My perception is that Ellen pursued him. Her version is the other way around.
I heard you like one sugar and a lot of cream.
You heard right. Come on in.
Either way, they both like what they see in all sorts of ways.
She's an attractive woman. I think he's handsome, so I can see a mutual attraction both ways. I think Ellen was outgoing, so it complemented him being more quiet.
She wanted a man who was probably set and financially secure.
I was happy he found somebody.
Their courtship is fast and furious.
I've heard about the stories of him leaving roses on her car.
Mike was very quiet and reserved, but had the heart of gold.
He gives her diamond earrings just 6 weeks after they start dating.
I'm glad you like them.
You, Mike Snyder, are a keeper.
I was happy he found somebody after he had gone through his first divorce.
By the next fall, Ellen's divorce is finalized, and she is granted custody of her son, Matt. It's full speed ahead with Mike.
I do feel that Mike and Ellen's relationship did move quickly.
Yeah, I'm on one of that.
She moved in, pretty soon, her and her son, into my brother's home that he had in Rio Rancho. So we just supported them, and, life for them was good.
Over the next couple of years, Mike takes a special shine to young Matt, who's already showing promise as a budding mechanic.
Make sure that's good and tight now.
Matt didn't see his father, so Mike coming into his life was positive for him.
You got a real knack for that, Matt. Good job.
Time for a break for my hardworking men.
He's really good.
I think she was happy and felt secure, and her son needed a positive role model, and I think Mike filled that.
Hey, Matt, I got you a little surprise for all that hard work on the engine.
Look, Mom, it's mine.
Less than 3 years after meeting, Ellen and Mike are married.
It was a second marriage for both of them. It was a small ceremony. Her family, her mom, her grandma, my parents were there.
Everybody was just thrilled that this young couple was married, finding each other.
As part of their new life together, they build a dream home in a posh suburb just outside the city.
North Albuquerque Acres is a fairly exclusive neighborhood, and it's slightly remote from the city because it's up against the mountains. Mike wanted to build his own house. He had a vision of his dream house, and he had the money to build it.
Being the type of person he was, good with his hands, and he built the house himself. And they worked on that house evenings when they got home from work and weekends.
The house isn't the only thing to celebrate. By early 1995, Ellen is expecting their first child.
I know they both wanted to have a child together, even though that Ellen had, a child from another marriage.
Pregnancy doesn't slow Ellen down one bit.
Nothing like a little deadline to keep work on schedule.
She continued to work, at her job, and then also help build the home.
They move into their new house in the fall of 1995.
He was real excited. They all were.
I thought my brother had a perfect life.
A perfect life that becomes even more so when their healthy baby Isabel is born just as the house is ready.
And I believe the house was finally completed before she actually arrived in the world, and they were able to take her home to a finished home.
Psychotherapist Stacy Kaiser and forensic psychologist Brian Russell see great potential for success and for trouble down the line.
Overall, things look pretty good for them. They have a lot in common. Mike seems to have totally embraced Ellen's child. They really like nice things. Those things really matter to them. And some people might judge that and say that's not good. However, it could work out for them as long as they're making enough money, they're not going into debt.
Mike and Ellen both seem to be sort of workaholics, and while that is perhaps okay, it still causes concern for me about whether or not this is a couple who really ought to be thinking about growing their family. Are they in a position where they want to devote the kind of time you have to devote to being parents of a newborn baby?
When you have a family, it's really important that there's focus on the couple and on the family itself, including the kids. And when both adults' focus is primarily on work, it means that there is no one focusing on the home front. And so it worries me how this family is going to be able to stick together.
Both Ellen and Mike seem happy.
He was thrilled to be having a baby. And when she came, he was a very doting dad. I think just meant absolutely the world to him.
Close your eyes now, sleep. Daddy's here, baby girl.
He loved this little child like nobody's business.
But privately, the birth marks a turning point for the couple.
What he described as World War III was going on in the office next door.
He is not the man I married.
There was basically a second mortgage taken out.
What are you thinking, Ellen?
To the tune of over $300,000.
Ellen and Mike Snyder have every reason to be happy. They've built a dream house and welcomed their first daughter, Isabel, less than 2 years into their marriage. They make a beautiful family of 4 with Ellen's son from a previous marriage, Matt. But the arrival of the new baby doesn't please everyone.
Hey, where are you going? I need your help.
Whatever.
Don't you give me that lip.
Hey! Don't talk to him that way.
It probably was a little hurtful, I think, for Matt to have a new sibling to kind of contend with. So I think he probably felt maybe alone and kind of discarded, and perhaps that's when he decided to spend more time away from home.
Just come back inside.
Matt, now a teenager, is no longer best buddies with his stepdad and is spending less and less time at home, as are Mike and Ellen.
After Isabel came into their lives, it seemed like maybe they started to pull apart from each other. They weren't spending a whole lot of time as a family. Both Mike and Ellen worked very long hours, and even though they loved both their children, they missed her and they wanted to be there for her, but their jobs kept them away from her at an early age.
My autograph.
The hard work pays off. Ellen is promoted to the executive level, where she becomes the supervisor to 30 mechanics. Mike is not.
Hey, can you take her to daycare today? Big day today. I gotta crack the whip on those mechanics.
Mike was still a mechanic, so perhaps for a man it was a little degrading or, troubling to have his wife now in a position that was perhaps greater than him.
Bye. Bye.
Sadly, the promotion seems to push them further apart.
So at one point when I was at their home and saw a twin-size mattress on the floor, I was a little surprised. We found out that was where my brother, Mike, was sleeping, and that he hadn't been sleeping in the master bedroom with Ellen for quite some time.
Ellen and Mike agree it's easier this way with the new baby. Except the distance between them continues to grow, literally. By the late 1990s, Mike's work is taking him away from home, usually to Phoenix, Arizona.
Being a mechanic, you have to constantly go to training, get recertified. So that was an ongoing process for my brother throughout his career. But according to Ellen, she says that he was going much more frequently.
Then, 7 years into their marriage, the strength of their relationship is really put to the test when Mike gets sick.
Mike would have part of his body go numb. He would have tingling in his extremities. They finally determined that he had been suffering with multiple sclerosis.
MS, a progressive and highly debilitating autoimmune disorder.
When Mike was diagnosed with MS, it was a fairly devastating blow. You can imagine he was a very good mechanic, and now the thing that he did for a living, the thing he loved, he wasn't able to do as well anymore. He was in near constant pain. He was quite weak.
He got to the point where he had to take a leave of absence from work and was going under kind of experimental treatments of getting chemotherapy to try to combat the symptoms of MS.
Mike is willing to try anything to stop its progress, even leave his job for good.
It took some time, but he did file for Social Security and disability.
And he had to basically stop doing what he did for a living, which, as you can imagine, put a strain on the relationship that was already pretty strained. Ellen saw that the money that had been coming in from him wasn't going to be coming in the same way anymore.
I think at this time, my brother became even more withdrawn and reserved than he was. I can't imagine really internally what he was going through. I know there were struggles that we would never understand.
One small consolation is that Mike can spend more time with his daughter.
Good day at school today? Yeah, you're a good girl?
But he complains he's not getting enough attention from the other woman in his life, his wife.
Hey, how'd it go at the doctor today?
Oh, fine. Could have been there.
I do know that for his first chemotherapy that Ellen did not go, and it was very traumatic for my brother that he had to call my mother kind of at last minute notice.
I was busy, and you were very well taken care of. Let's not make a big deal out of this, okay?
Mommy's pretty busy, isn't she?
At that point, they were clearly really strained, and she put other priorities above his needs.
An MS diagnosis is a very traumatic thing. It's a chronic illness. It can have devastating effects that can be unpredictable. Some people are better at managing it than others. This is why we have a vow that says in sickness and in health, because you really have to be able to lean on the other spouse. And I haven't seen from Mike and Ellen enough of that kind of foundation to make me confident that she's going to sort of rise to the occasion and support him when he needs it through this illness.
There are really two ways that Ellen could go when she finds out about this diagnosis. The first is she could really embrace her role as the caregiver, the breadwinner. The second alternative is that she is resentful about being put in this situation. She's worried about the fact that she's going to have to take care of him long term. So it is totally possible that the diagnosis of MS that Mike has now received could be the catalyst to bring these two together again. It is also possible that it is going to be the thing that tears them apart.
Within months of the diagnosis, the couple is clearly on the rocks.
Every year our family has a big Christmas party. And my brother, being a very good cook, he would make a big pot of pozole, which is a New Mexican dish.
Hey, brought the pozole. We can't stay.
What are you talking about?
Don't worry about it.
Look, the kids are outside. We'll come and get them in a little bit. Okay?
Seriously?
We didn't see them fight, but we sure could feel the tension. They wouldn't talk. They didn't seem to act as a couple. They wouldn't communicate.
You know I wanted to stay.
The tension in the home is made public when Ellen shows up to work with bruises.
Ellen had come to work and had indicated that she had become injured breaking up a fight between her son and Mike Snyder.
With the glasses.
Stupid teenage family drama.
Michael and her son had gotten into a physical altercation, and she jumped into the middle in an attempt to stop that, and that's how she obtained the bruising.
A heroine caught in the crossfire. But according to a colleague, she is the victim.
On one occasion in particular, what he described as World War III was going on in the office next door.
So where that stuff just went, it just kind of magically disappeared.
He'd heard some yelling and screaming going on in the hallway just outside of Ellen's office and walked out to see what was going on.
We'll just leave him. Is everything okay?
He is not the man I married.
She indicated that there was emotional, physical, and mental abuse.
So that coworker let her borrow, for lack of a better term, his firearm.
Look, I've got something for your protection, okay? Just in case.
Ellen hides the gun at the couple's home, where she hopes Mike and the kids don't find it. Mike doesn't find the gun, but he does make a different, more shocking discovery.
There was a second mortgage taken out to the tune of over $300,000.
Hey.
We need to talk, Ellen.
About what?
Don't play dumb. What's going on with the money?
I couldn't tell you what was being done with the money, but there was definitely a money issue.
I had heard that she was gambling.
That's what the talk was.
It's really hard to know, but by the end, there were hundreds of thousands of dollars gone and not a whole lot to show for it.
We could lose everything because of you.
What are you thinking, Ellen?
You're one to talk? You're not even working anymore.
Don't you walk away from me.
Oh, okay. You're okay. You're okay. All right. I got you. Okay.
Thank you.
In late 2001, Mike decides to leave Ellen and plans to head to his family's lakeside home.
He was taking things that were important to him, pictures, cards.
It was a sign of he was going to move out. He was leaving.
It seems that Ellen's debt pushed him over the edge.
Damn it!
But nobody knows the real reason Mike is planning his exit.
Mike was using those training sessions as an opportunity to have an affair.
That came out of left field, and that shocked me. I wasn't expecting anything like that.
Mike Snyder wants to leave his wife, Ellen, after less than 8 years of marriage. It might have something to do with her taking out a second mortgage on their home behind his back. Or it might not.
Done for tonight.
It's Ellen's turn to make a shocking discovery.
Mike had just gotten a new cell phone. In fact, it was the first cell phone that he had ever owned. At one point, he was out of the room, and she was looking through the phone because she was already suspicious.
What she sees and hears fills her heart with rage.
Hey, baby, missing that hot bod of yours. Looking forward to taking off your clothes and
doing the nasty.
Apparently, Ellen was able to hear messages describing various sexual acts, which led her to believe that Michael was carrying on a homosexual relationship.
An affair with a man named David in Phoenix.
She believed that Mike was using those training sessions as an opportunity to meet and to have an affair with a man out in Phoenix, Arizona.
She confronts her husband.
This is what's in Phoenix?
Hey, baby, missing that.
Hey, you give me that.
Cheating son of a bitch! With another man?
You say what you want.
You're pathetic. I heard the message!
Whatever.
When she woke up the next morning, Mike was gone. His truck was still parked out front, and she concluded that he must have gotten a ride to the airport, presumably to go to Phoenix, Arizona, to move in with his boyfriend.
A few days later, Ellen breaks the news to Mike's sisters.
Laura? It's Ellen. I've got something to tell you.
She called me, just wanted to let you know Mike's left. She woke up and he was gone.
His sisters aren't surprised that he's left her, but they do not believe it's for another man.
There's no way. There's just absolutely no way. It wouldn't matter to me if he was, but I would see signs. I would know there'd be nothing to hide, nothing to be secretive about.
It seems that Mike's disappearance has surprised the people who knew him best. There have certainly been cases in which married men or women have left the marriage to go be in a same-sex relationship, and that has estranged them not only from their former spouse, but also from their kids. And if that truly is the explanation for why Mike has disappeared, it says to me that there was some profound, long-standing dishonesty between Mike and Ellen on his part, concealing that aspect of himself.
It is possible that he has been afraid of people's reactions to what he's doing in his life, and so he has fled for that reason. It may be that he is ill and has run off to sort of die alone. Upon Mike discovering that they have such deep financial problems and that most of them are the result of Ellen and that she had been hiding it, that could have added to his desire to leave. And it's also possible that there's foul play involved.
In early April 2002, Ellen filed for divorce, and she indicated in the divorce paperwork that the reason being that Mike Snyder had abandoned her and her family.
With Mike in absentia, a judge grants her the divorce and the house, along with full custody of Isabel. To make things worse, Ellen's money troubles have finally caught up with her.
There is not an income coming in from him, so the house goes into foreclosure.
His home was free and clear until she took out that $306,000 mortgage.
While all this is going on, Mike's family can't believe he doesn't reach out to them.
I'd like to declare a missing person. It's my brother.
Mike's name goes into a national missing persons database, but as 2002 turns to 2003, nothing happens.
The police said, look, he's a grown man. He can do whatever he wants. If he wants to go to Arizona, he went to Arizona. If he wants to disappear, he can disappear.
After 2 years without a word from Mike, his father passes away.
He had been ill for some time and finally succumbed to his illness.
Family's there, friends, and Ellen and her son walked in.
Aside from the odd phone call, Mike's sisters haven't had any contact with Ellen or her son for quite some time.
We were a little surprised to see him, but, you know, okay. My dad thought fondly of both of them, so, you know.
We gave them their time, you know, to go up to the casket and share their private moments.
But Mike's stepson, 19-year-old Matt, quickly draws everyone's attention.
Matt was crying uncontrollably.
I've really never seen somebody that distraught and emotionally broke up. It was very strange.
I mean, it's not his blood grandpa. There was no extreme relationship or closeness to him and my father that would have warranted that kind of reaction.
The sad family reunion underscores the fact that nobody has seen or heard from Mike in years.
We knew by that point if he didn't show up for his dad's funeral, something had happened.
But that something won't be anything they ever would have imagined.
There's some initial digging, but they find nothing.
I know exactly where he is.
The old adage rings true here, no victim, no crime.
Two years have gone by since Ellen and Mike Snyder's divorce, and since the family reported him missing. When Mike doesn't show up for his own father's funeral, his sisters take action. Terry follows up with the Albuquerque Police Department on her missing persons report from 2002. In August 2005, cold case detective Mark Wilson is assigned to investigate.
My family was really close.
Okay, but did he ever mention anything at all about anybody that he knew in Phoenix?
No, and there's no way he wouldn't have told me.
So he looked into it and realized that there was absolutely zero tracking mechanisms to find Michael Snyder. Usually when people run away from their homes or their spouses, they leave some sort of trail. Very rarely have we ever seen someone run away from home and simply vanish off the face of the earth.
Mike's sisters grow more desperate and turn to a psychic for help.
Didn't really tell him a lot, kind of vague, but at one point, he told us, he goes, I feel like your brother's dead. I don't feel like he's alive.
I feel that there's foul play here. A lot of foul play here. And there are two people involved with this.
And it was monetary in motive.
But Detective Wilson feels otherwise when he finds evidence that points to the contrary.
Bingo.
Beginning in 2003, all the way through approximately 2006, individual returns were being filed in Mike's name.
State income taxes for the 3 years after his disappearance. In his investigation, Wilson also contacts Ellen. The tax filings are consistent with what she's been saying all along.
Your husband's returns for the last 3 years.
Ex-husband.
Ellen gives the detective what info she has.
And like I said, he's not missing. I know exactly where he is. He's on a beach somewhere with his gay lover. It's all there.
Specifically a Western Union transfer receipt that went to a location in Phoenix, Arizona. She also had credit card receipt indicating the U-Haul rental had been paid for with a credit card also in this man's name. And then also she provided several phone records which were consistent with a gay club in Phoenix, Arizona, and indicating that Mike had been calling frequently this club.
Detective Wilson sets out to find Mike's lover, David Simmons.
Using law enforcement databases, did try to track down anybody that matched that name in the Phoenix metro area.
Mike's family waits eagerly for news. But Detective Wilson doesn't have much to report.
We did look for this gay lover in Phoenix and were never able to locate him.
The income tax returns are good news and bad news. The good news is that there's a hope that he's alive and well and living somewhere. The bad news is, why haven't we heard from him and what's wrong?
The fact that Mike's family went to a psychic suggests to me that they had sort of lost faith in the police's ability to really get to the bottom of the mystery of Mike's disappearance, that they were certain, in their own minds at least, that Mike would not have disappeared and just fallen off the map voluntarily.
I don't really see this as desperation. When you have a missing family member, someone you love, you feel helpless and hopeless because you don't have any answers. And so you're looking for answers.
After months of searching, the trail comes to an abrupt halt.
Detective Mark Wilson was working the case and felt it had gone cold.
He makes a last-ditch attempt to resuscitate the case.
He requested from a local reporter with the Albuquerque Journal that they run a follow-up story about the disappearance of Mike Snyder.
And honestly, we were thrilled because to us, great, finally some action.
The Journal ran a front page article about the disappearance of Mike and the concerns that foul play may be involved.
My husband went out to get the paper, thought it would be a little small blib, maybe on the second or third section. And I can remember my husband calling up to me from downstairs. It's on the front page. Wow, really? That article was kind of enlightening for us because they suspect foul play.
The good thing about that is that that led to some significant leads.
We received a tip from a neighbor who remembered that around the time that Michael Snyder had gone missing, she saw Ellen in the backyard of their residence digging what she said could have been a pretty deep hole.
One other thing that seemed noteworthy, one of the neighbors indicated that there was a tree that in 2001 was not in the yard, and in the summer of 2002, there was a large tree that was now planted out in the backyard.
Could Mike be buried under the tree?
Detective Wilson thought that a placement of a tree was very suspect.
On June 8, 2006, a full 4.5 years after Mike went missing, cadaver dogs are brought to the house.
The house now belonged to somebody else, but they were agreeable.
Both dogs indicated that there was possible remains in and around a tree in the backyard.
And so the decision was made to dig right around the trunk of the tree, thinking that maybe there was a body that could be under the tree, and then the tree was then placed to conceal it.
And they probed it and did whatever and never found anything.
To police, the only thing that's clearly dead is the case.
The old adage rings true here, no victim, no crime.
And so once again, the search for Mike goes cold.
At this point, Mike's family has given up hope, until police get a break 4 years later.
So in January of 2010, a confidential informant came forward to the police department indicating that they had knowledge of Mike's disappearance.
Is this the breakthrough everyone has been hoping for?
I don't think they thought that they were going to find anything.
Everything that the informant said had to be taken suspiciously.
Mike Snyder has been missing for 8 years. Ex-wife Ellen says he left of his own free will, and police have not been able to prove otherwise. Until a new source steps forward.
Hey, I've got some information on the Snyder case.
A confidential informant said he had information about a murder that took place several years prior, and he was referring to the death of Michael Snyder.
Police are surprised to learn the informant is an old friend of Ellen's son, Matt, and his motives seem questionable.
Ellen had fired this friend from working in the dealership where she was one of the supervisors.
You need to get out of my office. You're fired.
Because this confidential informant had an obvious reason to seek revenge against Ellen and was angry with Ellen, everything that the informant said had to be taken suspiciously.
You're not gonna get away with this.
The confidential informant went on to say that Ellen's son had admitted to him that his mother had shot Michael Snyder.
Hey, man. Look, I just wanted to say it sucks about your stepdad leaving and all. You know. He didn't leave. He's still there. What?
And that he had helped her bury the body in the backyard of their home.
Police are dubious. They checked the yard. No body. Still, the young man stands by his story and agrees to meet with Matt while the police listen in.
The cops came to see me, man. They're looking for information about you and your stepdad.
Well, just tell them you don't know anything.
I'm getting scared, man. Like, they know things, like reports about gunshots that night, or they know the make of the gun.
Well, that's impossible.
The informant asked about whether or not Ellen's son believed that the body was still there, and he indicated that yes, to the best of his knowledge, that Mike's body would still be there.
And look, they're not gonna find anything in that huge backyard.
It's enough to corroborate the story, but police need more for an arrest. So they go straight to Matt and confront him with the recording.
At night, me and my mom buried it in the hole. I don't want to go to jail.
The body is in the yard, but it's not under the tree. It's under the garage, where the dogs couldn't pick up a scent.
The house had changed significantly since the time period when Ellen and Mike had lived there in 2001, 2002.
One of the owners extended the garage from a 3-car garage to now a 6-car garage.
I don't think they thought that they were going to find anything because it was a dead story to them.
8 years later, and 10 feet under, Mike Snyder's skeletal remains are finally found. He had been shot 6 times.
For the 8 years of wondering and worrying and you know, it's also just, it's overwhelming.
It's just every emotion you can possibly think of.
In exchange for his cooperation, Matt is not charged. And he tells police the whole story of what happened when he was just 17.
You're pathetic. I heard the message.
Whatever.
Ellen's son, he was woken up in the middle of the night by what he thought were gunshots.
He began to dial 911 when Ellen came to his door.
Matt, put down the phone. I need you to help me.
Matt, scared and in shock, reluctantly agrees.
They decide they're going to dig a hole in the backyard to bury Mike in. Becomes pretty clear fairly quickly that shovels are not going to do the trick. So they wait 2 days before they can get a backhoe, and they use the backhoe to dig the hole.
She and her son rolled Mike's body onto a dolly and into the hole.
And that's where they put Mike's body and bury him. Ellen is charged with first-degree murder. She tries to claim self-defense.
You're not even working anymore.
But police and prosecutors don't buy it.
When Mike was diagnosed with MS, he was in near constant pain. He was quite weak.
No police reports were ever filed by Ellen Snyder to indicate physical domestic violence.
Police also unearth a pile of skeletons that give Ellen clear motive. In 1988, Ellen was charged and convicted of fraud and forgery and ordered to pay restitution. After Mike's disappearance, her white-collar crime spree continued.
Ellen not only was able to collect over $60,000 from Michael's 401k retirement fund, but also his disability payments from the federal government, as well as she filed 2 different tax returns under his name.
All told, she gained more than $100,000.
Nobody ever learns exactly where the money went, or if David Simmons is even real. But if he existed, he probably wasn't Mike's lover.
We were never able to corroborate whether or not that existed.
Of course, it's a made-up story on her behalf. She did it to protect herself, to keep what she had done, forgeries, fraud, pretty much stealing money.
We need to talk, Ellen. We could lose everything because of you. What are you thinking, Ellen?
It's possibly because he had finally said, look, I am leaving. You've ruined us financially. I can't live this way. And Ellen just wasn't going to have that.
What they do know is that when Ellen shot Mike, she emptied the clip.
Ellen kept the gun that her colleague had given her. She eventually returned it, but she returned it without any bullets, any ammunition.
I am highly skeptical of the gay romance. I'm highly skeptical of the domestic violence.
Had she been a victim, she would have had all of this time to talk about how it was self-defense, and she would have had a viable reason for wanting to kill him or killing him by accident. And so what instead she was doing is literally going about her life, acting like nothing had happened.
I think that Ellen was coldly, calculatedly creating well in advance so that she would have what she thought would be a plausible explanation for why he might want to disappear.
If I didn't already think that Ellen was a sociopath because of her ability to kill someone and act like nothing happened, I definitely would think that she could involve her son.
Prosecutors believe the killing is premeditated, but 8 years have gone by.
The statute of limitations had already run for things like manslaughter, second-degree murder, so they couldn't really prosecute her for that. So the only thing available to the prosecutors was first-degree murder, which means, of course, they have to prove intent. All it took was one juror to believe that Ellen was a battered woman and that she had shot in self-defense. And basically, Ellen would walk away a free woman. Prosecutors didn't want to take that chance.
And so what we did is we were able to reach a resolution by a plea agreement.
Ellen pleads guilty to manslaughter, and in combination with tax fraud and tampering with evidence, she is sentenced to 11 years.
It's just a tragedy that the state law didn't put her in jail for more jail time.
What kind of mother asks her teenage son to help dispose of a body? Ellen Snyder was that kind of mother.
Isabel, at 15, goes to live with Ellen's mother, and Matt, at 26, continues to work as a mechanic, just like his stepdad, Mike, killed at the hands of Ellen Snyder.
She has no remorse, no thought for our family, and really no thought for her daughter, Isabel, who she took her father away from her.
He was a great guy. He was a good guy. He's the best brother, best father, best son anybody could have, and I'd give anything to have him back.